Very good morning and greetings to you all in the name of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. As we have entered this Passion Week, we are once again in the threshold of completing this season of Lent. The theme for our reflection this morning is a fruitful life, a fruitful life. And as we are in this Passion Week, it is our tradition that every day we reflect on the events that took place in and through the days of this Passion Week. We have begun this Passion Week by and with the procession to Jerusalem with Jesus, as it was noted as the triumphal entry of Jesus into the city of Jerusalem as well as into the Jerusalem temple. And then the very next day, if we consider that the triumphal entry falls on Sunday, the next day, the Monday, there is this event called Jesus curses a fig tree and cleanses the temple. Chronologically, there are different ways in which we can see the events throughout this week. But this year we are going to follow the Markan narratives and how Mark, as the gospel writer, records the events of this Holy Week. If you read Mark chapter 11, the first pericope talks about the triumphal entry to Jerusalem. That is the procession of Hosanna. And now the second day, the very next day, as it begins from chapter 11, verse 12, the next day as they were leaving Bethany. In this Holy Week, both Bethany and Jerusalem receive a significant concentration. It sounds like Jesus was staying in Bethany and traveling back and forth to Jerusalem. So all these incidents that were taking place during this Holy Week were found to be between Bethany and Jerusalem. So after this triumphal entry, the great procession among the masses, he went back to Bethany. He stayed there, and the next day he was traveling from Bethany to Jerusalem as this incident happened. When he was traveling on his way to Jerusalem, Jesus was hungry. This is something, a famous statement in the Bible, or one among the famous statements in the Bible, which manifests the humanity of Jesus. As we know that the two sides of Jesus as the divine nature as well as the human nature. So we believe that Jesus was fully human as well as fully divine. And here he reveals the nature of human being, that he was hungry. And what happens? Seeing in distance a fig tree in leaf. So there was the sight from a distance when he was traveling from Bethany to Jerusalem. He saw that he was hungry and he was seeing this fig tree with so much of leaves and thinking that the tree with so much of leaves will definitely have figs. And there is also this contention that it was not the season for the fruits in the fig tree. But still the Bible interpreter says, and especially in the geography of ancient Middle East and Jerusalem, they say that it is the custom of these people to eat the pre-figs. So before the season of the fig trees or fig fruits, they will have something called this pre-figs, which can actually stop you from feeling hungry, and this is what Jesus expected. But while seeing in distance, as the tree was filled with so much of leaves and looking so prosperous, Jesus was also thinking that it will have something to eat. But what happened was, when he approached near, when he reached it, he found nothing but leaves. It looked so prosperous, very green in the distance. But when you go near, there is nothing. And Jesus says, may no one ever eat fruit from you again. And this is the first incident on Monday. And if you consider it, if it was happening on the Monday morning, and then as he was traveling to Jerusalem, then he entered this Jerusalem temple and the courts of Jerusalem temple, and he began driving out those who were buying and selling there. And he overturned the tables of the money changers and the benches of those selling doves. So, if you consider these two incidents, as we know the story, Jesus crossing the fig tree or speaking to the fig tree, and on the other hand, Jesus cleansing the temple. Both have similarities, as from distance it looked, and they both looked so prosperous, so green. The fig tree as well as the Jerusalem temple. But when you go near, in that you find nothing. You find nothing in this fig tree to eat, and you find nothing in this Jerusalem temple as something good and beneficial to the spirituality of the people. They have forgotten the very purpose. The fig tree that has forgotten the very purpose to yield fruit. The temple that has lost its very purpose to be and become the house of prayer, rather it has become the den of robbers. And Jesus had to encounter both this fig tree and this Jerusalem temple. And even some theologians say that the imagery of fig tree is to denote the disciples and the readers of this gospel to understand, if the purpose is lost, then your life is also lost. As we said, the theme for today is a fruitful life. Our life may also look so prosperous and green from distance, but when people approach us, even when Jesus wants us to bear some fruit, when he draws near, what does he find? Is nothing but leaves. As we also are being built together as the temple of God, we need to be very conscious about the purpose for which we all have been called and built together as Christ being our head. So let us commit our ways. As we call this as Holy Monday, we need to discern a life with fruit. A life that gives fruit of the Spirit, and let us commit our ways in the hands of God. And let us embrace this courage and commitment to be and to live with the purpose for which we all have been called. May God help us and bless us with this courage and commitment to bear fruit of the Spirit in the life in the days to come. May God bless us all and have a wonderful day.